Hi, everyone. I'm here to help you with your budget. We're going to work with a budget, and we know that a budget is just um, it's a plan to record either expenses or uh, income. It's just a way of figuring out if I have this much income, how much am I going to spend to earn that income? So why do we create a budget? We create a budget because a company has to make sure that they're going in the right direction, that they're not overspending, like everybody overspending, and pretty soon you won't have a profit. So the whole purpose of the budget is to find out how much you're going to need. So you create a budget. Then after it's approved, you're going to use that budget to compare how much you're spending in opposition to how much you should be spending. So then, if you see that you're overspending, something has to be done. You have to stop spending so much and perhaps get less in the third and fourth quarters. So let's complete this. We're going to find out the total amount of all the supplies that we said that we were going to need for our budget, and we're then going to calculate 5% more for any price increases that might have happened during the year. And that will be our total budget amount. We're going to then uh, find out how much our quarterly budget is. And then we're going to compare that with how much we've already spent in the first two quarters. So let's get to it. So I'm going to click in E6, okay? That's under the words total amount. And I'm going to make a calculation. It's going to tell me how much I have to spend on a particular item. So I have to calculate the quantity times the each price, so I know the total amount. So I'm going to type in equals, and I'm going to click on the cell C6, and then I'm going to use the asterisk as a multiplication, and I'm going to then click in D6 so that I can press enter, and that is the total amount that I can spend on angle brooms in 2020. Well, 21. It's a little confusing. They have the exercise a little weird, but let's go with it. So I'm going to then autofill that down so that that formula is entered into every cell to E19. So I click and drag that down, and you'll see that I have the total amounts for each item. Now I'd like to figure out how much I have total that I've told them that I need to budget. So in order to find that out, I just do a sum of all the individual item totals. So I would then go up to, I make sure I was clicked first in E22. Then I would go up to the auto sum button, which is that button right there. And when I do, notice that Excel automatically selects what it thinks that I want to select for this exercise. And it's correct. So I'm going to press enter, and my amount is in the cell. Now you might wonder why I have a couple of lines. You never know if you're going to have to add a few lines before you put in your budget. So that gives us extra lines to change anything. So I go down, and now I am going to have to figure out how much that I have for a yearly budget, including the 5% allowance for price increases that I can get. This becomes a little bit more complicated, but let's see if we can do that. I'm going to click in that E27, and then I am going to type in equals, and I am then going to click in E22. So I have that amount, correct? I have this total amount now. I have to add 5% of that amount, and I'll show you how I do that. So I said add. So far I've equals E22 plus the plus sign, and then I go up and I click on, I put in a parenthesis. I do parenthesis, and then I click on E22 again, and I times that by 5%, or the cell, and then times, and then the 5%, and then I put a close parenthesis. Now, why do I do that? If you look up here, you can see. I'm telling the Excel to times my full amount times 5%, that's from the E26. And once it calculates that, I want it to add in the 2761. So think of it like this, equals 276157 plus 276157 times 5%. So I'm going to press enter, and you will see that my budget is 2899.65, including the 5% allowance. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out what the quarterly budget is. And the quarterly budget is 1/4 of the total year. So I click in E28 and I times in equals, and then I click on E27, that cell, to input it into the formula, and I divide, use the slash, and then 4. So I type in 4, okay? And I press enter, and that amount is 724.91. So we have to include that 724.91. We're going to have to put that in the budgeted. So what I do is I generally go into the first one and then I'll fill. But what I'm going to do is type in equals, right? And then I'm going to click on the cell E28, which is the quarterly budget amount. Now, if I click on F4, so I do function F4, you'll notice that it put dollar signs in front of the letters. That means that no matter what, wherever I copy it, it's going to always go to this cell. So I press enter, and then now I can click and drag that down and see the numbers are the same. If I can click in any of them, it says equals E28. Now, we know that when we copy down formulas, as we did above, it automatically goes to the next row when I drag it down. So you see this is C6D6, this is C7D7. So as I copied it down, it changed the row. I didn't want it to change here because it would have just gone down. So I typed in, I chose F4, but you could even type in the dollar signs in front of those, the column identifiers. Okay, so now we're going to go over to the difference. We have to find the difference between how much was budgeted and how much we actually have. So what happens is I'm going to type in, I'm going to click in D33, and I'm going to type in equals, right? And I'm going to find out how much this budget is over. So I'm going to click on C33, and then I'm going to minus the budgeted amount and press enter. Now, The reason I am doing this, which seems backwards, is because I want the difference to be over. Had I typed and I'll show you actually, I'll delete that. If I type in equals and then I was to click on B33 and then I subtracted C33, you notice it comes in as it seems under because it has parentheses. Okay, we don't like that, and that's why I typed in what you consider backwards. So I'm typing equals 766, which is in equals C33 minus B33, the contents in B33, and I press enter. Now I can copy that down because I want it to do that. I want to do equals C33 minus B33. And when I copy it down, I want it to be C34 minus B34 and so on and so forth. Okay, so now you'll notice that I have the remaining monies I have available, okay, is going to be, I'm going to type in, I'm going to go to D37, and I am then going to use the auto sum button, and you'll notice that we have $1,230.32 that we're still under. So we have that much to spend. So you notice this particular quarter I was over. This particular quarter I was over as well. So now I have to cut back. Notice I only have $1,230.32. If I divide that for the 2 quarters, I'll only have $615 per quarter. So that's it. Now you can do your homework. See you in the next video.